you doing there, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the SmartTask Show. A lot of you know me. My name is Bruce. Thank you for joining us today. And to my right, I have the founder of
Hi
SmartTask.io,
there.
Shaimal. How you doing today?
Doing pretty exciting. I am getting so many requests these days. It's just I I have only 3 or 4 hours of sleep daily. It's like pretty exciting and crazy at the same time.
I'm right there with you, and I'm surprised I have this much energy because it's 9 and I woke up at 7 and I went to bed at 4.
Oh,
I don't know
whoa.
how I don't know how that happened. So yeah, okay. So let's jump right on in and let's talk about what's exciting and what's going on new this week.
So guys, yesterday we released a digital marketing agency workflow, how you can set up your structures, your workflows in SmartTask. And I guess a lot of people had some questions. Some people asked me in private in Facebook chat. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go through the digital marketing workflow, how you can set it up, and then we have Rohin who will be discussing his own use case in as a digital agency. He has a traffic valley organization which works in digital marketing. So he's going to talk about his organization, how he has set up SmartTask currently, what tools where he was he utilizing earlier, and why he shifted to SmartTask, and what are the best practices, guys. So that is what we are going to discuss today. Yeah.
Perfect. And it looks like we have a lot of people who want to join us on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So Priyanash, Jay, Katayara, I apologize if I butchered your names. Please notify me in private chat on the right if you'd like to join us. Same thing with you, Ashok. Mr. Kevin Pauls, if you guys have any questions, please also leave it on the private chat and we'll have you guys jump in either on camera or we'll take your questions via text. So thank you very much, guys, and to all of you who want to join us. And we'll put up the join link in just a sec. Number one, and number two, any of your comments that you leave, we'll go ahead and put that on screen too. So let's go ahead and get started. How would you like to proceed?
So what I'll do is I will first give a brief overview of what digital marketing teams do. So what their workflows are, what their teams are, and how you can structure those in SmartTask. And then we'll look at a real use case in terms of a digital agency, their workflows from their perspective. So what we'll be first discussing is how you can set up your workflows in SmartTask for your digital agency, and then we'll take a real use case, understand from a digital marketer on how he has set up smart tasks, some real life experiences, what are the best practices in their case. So because I do not have an experience in digital marketing much, I am like familiar with the workflows and all, but I do not have an expertise. So we will have an expert who will be talking about his own workflow later on. So that is what it is. I will just share the perspective in terms of smart tasks and how you can set it up, and then we'll take it over and have an expert with his comments.
Sure. Go
Yeah.
ahead and
So what I will do
proceed.
is, yeah. So I will share my screen now.
Alrighty, I'll bring it up.
Mhm. I hope you're able to see.
Yep. Yep.
Perfect. So typically in a digital agency, you have this kind of teams. You have a project account managers. Now, these people, they will be, monitoring the client project day in and day out. They will be making contact with the client's requirements. They'll be understanding, and depending on that, they will be structuring the workflow for a particular client. So that is what the project manager, account manager team will be doing. So they will be creating a separate client project in SmartTask and monitoring them, creating the workflows there. Then you have a content team. Now the content team is basically a team which will help create content for the client. So that may be a blog, that may be an article that goes on site. So typically a lot of people come through content these days. They find you online, and then this content team will help you convert those people who have landed on your website. So that is why the content team is very important these days. Then you have a graphics video production team. Now these team will basically work on graphics for your articles, for your social media. In case you have some video walkthroughs for your product, they'll be working on that. So you have a graphics video production team. Then you have website development. Now a lot of digital marketers these days are also creating websites for their client. Now why they are doing so is because the end client is not really aware on how to create that website, how to manage those SEO stuff, and to have it all in one single company is beneficial for an end client, and that is why websites are now being developed by digital marketers more and more. Then we have business development. These are the people who will bring in business for your digital marketing agency, right? They will be doing outbound, inbound marketing efforts, campaigns to get those leads into your business. Then you have account team. Now, this is account and HR team is pretty much common in most of the teams out there. So this team account, for example, will be handling your accounts for your group, and the HR team will be handling the human resources you have in the team. So with that, I will just quickly, show you how you can structure your workflows for account managers, for content team, for graphics and video production team within SmartTask. So let me just quickly share the structure I have created. So if you see on the left hand side, we have this group. So we have a public group. Now this is where your daily discussions happen. So let's say you have an event coming up. Let's say you have something common to share with your team. So this is where you'll be sharing those stuff. And then we have a marketing, sales and marketing team. Now this team is your business developers working in to bring more leads. Now you'll be having a inquiries project where all of your inquiries will be coming in. You'll be able to see the deal stages, the deal values. These are custom fields, by the way. Now, the whole point on having this in one single tool is you do not have to, juggle between different tools. You're not juggling between a CRM, a task management tool, and then you again juggling between some digital marketing tools out there, right? So there are a lot of tools we are currently utilizing. It's much more beneficial to have a lot of these tools, a lot of this information in one single place. So that is where the inquiries comes in. Your sales team would be generating inquiries. They will be following up with them, and they'll be moving each and every inquiry across different stages. So you have lead being qualified, meeting, proposal send, deal loss, and deal one. So there's a typical stages in your sales cycle. You can of course modify them because this is a custom field. And then you have a deal value. This is an approximate value for a client. As you get on a discussion with your client, you'll be able to understand what the deal value will look like, and that is what this is. So once you set it up, you have different inquiries coming in. You have different deal stages. You'll be attaching your contacts here, and so on and so forth. Once you attach your contacts, and once you have a lot of inquiries coming in, you'll be able to look at all of those inquiries in a CRM view. So in the CRM, you have all of those contacts. And then if I go to analytics, you'll be able to see what is your current pipeline looking at. So let's say you have some inquiries coming in. How many of those inquiries are in the lead stage? How many of those inquiries are in the lead qualified stage? Proposal sent, deal lost, deal won. This gives you an overview of how your sales process currently looks like, and the estimated sales currently, the estimated sales by your users, and the user-wise analytics. Now, of course, you can filter this further to the filter analytics, but this is just the start, guys. This is just the sales and marketing part where we have the inquiries coming in. Now, let's say a inquiry is cracked. You have that deal is won. In that case, what you'll be doing is will be moving that client to a client's project. So typically, let's say if you have a digital marketing workflow for a particular client, most of the time digital marketing agencies work month on month. So you bill by month. Whatever works get done in the month, you bill for it. So if you see in the structure here, you have month one, you have some tasks you execute, and by end of those tasks, you have a end milestone that you hit. In this case, we are reporting all of the work that is happening in month one to the end client. So that is what I have set up as a milestones. Of course, you may have different steps here. It's just to give an example on how you can structure your digital marketing workflow for a particular client here. So so here we have Macmillan Co. We have month-wise tasks, month two tasks, and so on and so forth. Now, initially, when you just start working with the client, you'll be understanding the current strategies that are in place, how the website structure is. Does it need any changes? What are the current keywords we can target? If there are some SEO optimization needed on the side, that is what you'll be concentrating at the very start. So that is what I have written here in the month one. And typically in the month two, what you'll be doing is, since you already now have a database on what keywords to target, where to big backlinks, what to concentrate on. In that case, we'll start generating content on social media or on your site or the client side. So in that case, what we'll be doing is some of the tasks. So if you see, these are like content tasks, the articles to be written. This article or this task you'll be sharing with your content team. So to make a client's project success, you're collaborating with different teams. You're collaborating with the content team, you're collaborating with the video production team, the graphics production team. You're collaborating with a lot of teams that are also working for different projects, right? The goal of an account manager is to make sure the client projects get executed as per the client's needs, and to make sure he will of course have to coordinate with the content team. So let's say this is an article which has to be written by the content team. He will create a task, he will share it with the content team. Now the content calendar is within the content team, so you can see content department is there, and then you have the content calendar. So once you create that task, you also share it with the content calendar team. So this task will also reflect in the content calendar. You can see there are some custom fields. Now these custom fields are not there in other tasks. That is because we have included the custom field at the content calendar level. So all of the tasks in the content calendar will have this custom fields, the content stage, the content type, the number of words to write. So all of these details will be there in the content calendar. However, the other tasks within this Macmillan Co project will not be having those custom fields. So if I just go back to the content calendar, so this is typically how a content calendar of your team will look like. So you have all of the tasks coming in from different projects. You have this task from Macmillan Co, this is from Flipkart, and so on and so forth. Now, once you have a lot of tasks coming in, your content team has an oversight on what the deadlines for each and every tasks are, or each and every articles are. Now, let's say there are some changes in a particular task. Let's say this task cannot be done by 24th of October. So what the content team will be doing is they will be notifying the project team by just commenting here. So as soon as they comment, all of the followers are notified, and in this case the follower would be the project manager or the account manager. So they are notified. Each and every team are in sync in a way. So the content team has their own view where they have the content stage, whether it is idea, production, in review, approved, or it is a content type, what kind of content it is, the guide, a social media, or customers use case, what kind of content it is, and the number of words to write. Now of course you can put in more custom fields here to enrich the article you're going to write. And once there are any changes, you attach some pictures or maybe a Google Doc here that gets updated to the project manager or the account manager. So the account manager and the content team are always in sync, and yet the content team has their own workspace to collaborate with, while the account manager has his own workspace where he'll be saying, okay, what is happening for your client project. Similarly, you can also include your video and graphics team. You can create a common project for your graphics team. So what happens is when the task goes to the graphics portion, the graphics team will take over. You can set some automations here. So I will just click on the automation. You can say, okay, I want to modify the content stage to in the review, for example, and you want it to be assigned to the graphics designer. And that's it. So when you move your task to the graphics stage, check out what happens to the assignee. It changes automatically, right? So it goes directly to your graphics team, and then they can take over. Now, this is just an example. You can similarly create your graphics team's workspace where all of this tasks will be reflected in the graphics team. Yeah. Now, so this is all about your content team, your graphics team, and your account managers, how they collaborate together. Now, one of the tertiary work that digital marketing guys do is create websites for their client, because client doesn't have the expertise and they do, for example. So in that case, you have a website team who are working on different kind of websites. So we have here Casa1. Typically, a website is always developed module wise. You have different modules, and then you have tasks under those modules, the tasks to be completed to get that module done. Module may be your page 1, page 2, say your welcome page, say your product page, that may be your modules. And then each task has different stages. So this is typically your developer who has the stages, which is backlog, development, QA, and release. Now this is also utilized in the agile board. So I will just shift to the board view. So typically developers, what they do is they follow sprint kind of a methodology. So every week they figure out a task to be worked on for this week. They move it to the backlog, and slowly and steadily each and every task will move forward. By end of the week, you have some tasks in a QA or release section. So they analyze again. At the end of the week, they will analyze and they will figure out, okay, what tasks are still to be worked on. Why were we not able to complete all of the tasks? And depending on those analysis, they again will start a next sprint. So sprint typically is of week, but depending on your workflows, you can have a month sprint, you can have 2 week sprint. That's completely up to you. So this is how the website team will be working. At the same time, all of the teams come together in a single place where all of your informations and the client details are. So guys, that is how you can set up the content, the digital marketing workflow. And now we'll hand it over to Bruce to take it forward.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And in the meantime, we do have some callers who joined us, and let's go ahead and bring our guests on. Rohan, we'll get to you in just a sec. Ken, let me go ahead and bring you on. Give me the thumbs up, and we'll bring you on screen. Perfect. All right, let's bring him on. Ken, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for waiting for Shaimal. You have the founder here. What's your question today?
Yeah, my question. Hello. Hi. My question is kind of more towards the CRM side of the tool. So this week I've been trying to use that feature with my sales and just trying to record all of my calls and all of my leads. And I always catch myself not really using the CRM portion, but going back to the project portion, because like on the project portion, I always categorize by like leads, and then in communication, said not a good fit. So is there a way where we can kind of use the CRM tool in that way where we can put them in different stages?
Yeah. So I just explained how you can utilize it for a sales workflow. Did you check it out? If not, I will just share my screen again and we can just go through it once.
Yeah, I probably didn't check it out. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So if you see here, what I've done is we have this inquiries workflow, inquiries project, where we have different tasks. Now each task is an inquiry, for example, and then you have a deal stage and a deal value. So the deal stage is something that you can set up by your own. Depending on your own stages, you can set it up. Ideally, it is like a lead to qualified, meeting, proposal send, deal loss, and deal one. Those are custom fields, so you can create your own custom fields here. And then each and every task will have some contacts. So let me just add a contact here. So you can see a contact is added. Now we do have a click to call feature. It is not activated for foreign clients, but Indian clients can still utilize it. Foreign clients, we're working on it. Most probably we'll have it by end of the month. So yeah, so you attach your contacts here, so you know what the contact information is, and all of the discussion that happens with the contact goes as a comment section in the comment section. So you know exactly what transpired till now and what are the next action points.
Okay.
So yeah, so you have deal stage, you have a deal value. Deal value is an approximate value you put in depending on your conversation with the client. And once you have all of this information in the inquiries view, you always set it up as a sorting by due date so that you know exactly what tasks are overdue you need to address first, and what are the upcoming tasks, for example. And once you set it up in the CRM view, if you go to analytics, click on the sales and report settings. Here you select your custom field. That is a drop down, the stage drop down, the pipeline stages. So you select that custom field. Once you select that custom field, you put in your probabilities for each and every stage. You put in your deal value, the field you selected for the deal value, and then that's it. You save it. In our case, we have number of users here for the deal value, right? So everyone has a different kind of deal value which you can put in.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So once you have that ready, you'll be able to track your sales like this in the funnel and how many inquiries are in different stages. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, because when I was on the CRM view, I was just adding these companies, but I just didn't know like what to do after that. Like I didn't know how to use it. But we need to use a CRM and the project in tandem together. Okay, that makes sense.
So all of your work happens in the project, whereas you utilize on the contacts just for for the information purposes internally. And then of course the contact will also create a history for each and every task that are they associated with.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Ken, thank you for joining us. Ping me after the show, okay? Don't forget to hit
thank
me
you.
up on Messenger. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, that was pretty good. Rowan, if you're good, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. We'll bring you on to continue on with today's show. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do it. There we go. We got you on mute, brother.
Yeah, perfect. All good, Mike.
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
Let's go ahead and continue where we left off, guys. So, Rowan, you have a pretty extensive marketing use case you want to show us?
Yeah, sure. What I'm really going to do is I'm going to share my screen. A lot of stuff has already been discussed by Shaimal already. So let me know if you guys can actually see my screen now.
Yeah, it's up.
By the way, guys, a brief background. So Rohin handles SEO Launchpad. It's another Facebook group, and he has his own digital marketing company called Traffic Valley, right? So hey, before we show us your workflow, can you tell us a little bit about your company, what you guys do? Just a brief background.
All right. So yeah, sure. So what I'll do is stop my screen a bit. All right. So Shaimal, Bruce, what I actually do is that's digital marketing company, like you already said. So I started off this company back in 2013. So that was the very first time when I actually got into the SEO field. So it's almost like 7 years already now. And during this time, we started off with some of the agencies. We worked with the roofers, dentists, and everyone. And then last year, we started off another Australian company, which is a Traffic Valley. And in the very first year, the company actually achieved that 7 figures in revenue. So that was a good achievement for us. Yeah, that's true. That was more than expectation, because especially in this COVID time. So the things actually happened in the opposite way for me. So rather than a lot of people were screaming that the projects are going on hold and all that. And what happened that at that time, they started actually leaving off all their in-house employees and all that. And they started outsourcing. And this is when we jumped in the picture and we started picking it on. So that worked for us. That was pretty good. And it's about like more than 200 projects, which we are actually managing at the moment. We are using different kind of CRMs that includes Google Sheets, that includes Basecamp, Trello as well, with a lot of different kind of integrations too. Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. And a bit of a background of myself. That's basically I'm a mechanical engineer by trade. So mechanical engineering and then the computers, 2 different things. So was pissed off with the job when I was working in the mines. So I slowly moved into this thing and really loving all this.
Yeah, your 200 projects, that's pretty extensive, guys. I like that was shocking for me.
Exactly right, because we actually work for the agencies only. And you take it this way, every agency for their survival, you can say, or whatever, they are having like 10 to 20 projects at least. Especially if that's a US-based agency. So what we do, we work on the volume base. So it's very much easy for us. They are the front faces. We work with them. And apart from that, when the reason we started off this Australian agency last year was to actually start working one-to-one with the Australian companies as well. We said, all right, agency show is going on. Let's start working with the one-to-one with the clients too. So that's how the things worked out.
Crazy, yes. Okay. So Hey Rohin, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of tools you have been utilizing till now, and how you found out SmartTask and how you set it up?
Oh yeah, for sure. So what I'll do is I'll probably go and share my screen if that's okay with you.
Sure, please.
All right, so that's one of our different CRMs. Like I said, we are using. So this is Basecamp. So as you can see, all the different kind of projects we have got in that, and then you can jump it on. Bit cluttery in some cases, and this is where I really like. So as you can see, it's not that bad, but I think SmartTask has actually taken the things one step ahead. So you know all these different kind of tasks, scenarios, and all that. But
I'm going to stop you right there, because you know what you just suggested or discussed is what other people are going to want to know. How is specifically SmartTask different, and how does it take things better or the step further compared to Basecamp?
All right. So the reason what I think it's one of the best thing in SmartTask is that like the overall interface is pretty good. That's something I really like. It's more easy that we can collaborate all the things together, and the overall view of the things, it's more easy to understand them rather than this one. So if once I'll show you my particular dashboard, the one how I have segregated them from month 1 to month 6, so you can see all this up here with the dates and all that. And if you try to compare it with the Basecamp, you can say it's a bit hard. Although I know that we can go a dig deeper and try to do it more, but I think this one is a lot more easier to see, especially the timeline view and the board view. So this is something we can do it actually on the fly. So let's say I'm getting any new client or something, or even for any particular clients, because these are the sample projects only. So what I did, first of all, I started off following your videos, and then I pretty much divided all the different groups. So SEO team, writers, web developers, different templates and everything. I saved all those things as a templates. And then the sales and marketing team, this is where we are using Sales Prayer at the moment. So we thought like it could be easy to hook it out, all those leads together inside this sales module. So it's a lot more easy for the team that they can actually play around with that. So at the moment, like I said, it's all the templates we have. Probably in the next week or so, we're going to start moving them out. So I added another custom field up here because this is all the different kind of modules we are using. So
that's awesome.
So going up here, edit custom field. That's all I did. So we, by the time this is when it's happening, the team can actually put it all this information, and they at the same time they can put it on from where they are actually getting this lead. So try to think of this way. It's so much easy what I can really think of, because otherwise it's a nightmare waking up in the morning and the team is ready to fire on, and then we brainstorm telling them, all right, do this today, do that today. So it's more organized, and the more teamwork I reckon we can get it via that. So
it's chaos without such kind of a tool.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I showed it to some of my team leads, and they said like it's a pretty cool one rather than what we are using at the moment. So that's what the idea is, to actually move on things from this one. So yes, that's the one.
So one point here. So in Basecamp, one of the things that they are missing is the portfolio view. So when you have a lot of projects going on in parallel, the problem is you do not have an overview of all of those projects in one single screen.
Exactly.
So that is something a lot of people are coming in from Basecamp. It's a good tool for minimal kind of a workflow. But when you have so many teams working together, when you have so many projects, you want to have an overview of all of those projects in one single screen, right? So that is where you need a tool, where you need a portfolio to do. Yes.
Exactly right. And that's what I did. I actually created a portfolio for the different modules like SEO, writers, so that we can actually look at everything from the single interface rather than just going into each and every project. You know what I mean? And then, of course, we can actually see that what tasks are due, no matter what it has been assigned to which person. So it's so much easy that way. We can go and simply ask them like why the things hasn't been happened that way. And time tracking is another big bonus. So that's it. And then what I did, because SEO is one of our main modules, the things usually go on this way. Once we win the projects, we usually move them to different CRMs. So in this one, it's gonna move out to the SmartTask. So what I did, I actually added 2 of the different templates. So I set it out all together. That probably took like 2 to 3 days to get it done, everything. So what I did, I used one of your base template, put it all together till month 9, because this is what we have seen, like an average person, usually like clients stick with us for that much time. So I said like, all right, give it an action plan till 9 months. So this is the only information what I can really think of at this stage, what I need to give it to the client, and then the SmartTask can do everything all by itself. So I know like this is I'm gonna take, I use spp.co for all the client communications, invoicing, and all that kind of stuff. So what I need to do is they've got once they pay the invoice, we ask them to fill in the client intake form as a part of a flow. I need to go copy the form, put it up here, and that's it. Then I need to come to the timeline, what I can see now, because we took a good time to actually put all these dependencies, everything together. So you can say, because we know how much time it's probably going to take for each and every task. So let's say the task is starting out on this one. So let's say 24th of October. So 24th of October, the thing's going to go in, and then auto sync, and boom, everything, all the guys, they're going to know what they have to do during this particular time. So it's so much easy. And then if there is anything what I really think of, maybe you guys can tell me a little more about it. So automation, yes, that's something very interesting thing. I wasn't aware about of this one. And then let's say over the time, I find out like, oh, there is an opportunity up here. So opportunity gonna bring in some optimization and then goals. So basically we can upsell them when we find the opportunities. So I can simply go and create a new task for my team and tell them, all right, go and do this one, which is not a part of the overall flow at the starting as a template. But I can simply move them, and I can move it to whichever month or whichever the person who is assigned for that one is. So it's so much easy that way, I reckon. So going through the entire thing very quickly, what I did, I'm just gonna spend like another 2 to 3 minutes gonna explain what I did. Like I said, client intake information, all these SOPs are already in there. Everything I've already mentioned, everything in there, so that it should, when the guy's gonna get the task, they don't really need to wait for it. And they can actually assign the progress. So if it's like a new request in progress, so I can know, all right, this stuff, they are already working on it. So in progress or completed. So we can actually, although the completed can get it from here too, but I just add it as a custom tag. So let's say if this is, they have to do a detailed audit for this. We just mention them what you guys have to do and all those templates and everything you need to follow. If it's like going after any kind of data studio, we just told them, all right, this is what you need to do. So that they should be having everything on the go rather than waiting for it. And because I have saved everything as per the template, so just imagine how easy it is. Like I just need to go up here, create a project, assign a template, go to the timeline, give the start date, boom, everything is done. Everything is on the fly. I know the thing's gonna be happening all around. So yes, that's all it is. So everything is up here. So install necessary plugins. I just even told them.
Sorry. So one of the most critical things here for a digital marketer is to have all of the resources in place, right? Because we know how difficult a digital marketing workflow is. They have so many things going on. You're building backlinks, you're doing social media marketing. There are so many things going on. And for a new person to join in the team, he will be overwhelmed with a lot of things, right? So if you have all of those documents in place, that makes much more sense here, right? Yes.
Exactly right. It's kind of a pain. Like I said, we have taken that much pain because we are managing so big pool of projects at the moment. We know like every morning when the team comes in and half a day has gone and they are not actually getting a proper idea like what I have to do today. Or else you assign me a task, what I need to do into that task. We're going to tell them, all right, that's a task. That's where all the stuff you need to do, just go and get it done. You have all the timelines, everything is up here. They can go and chat, comment, whatever it is. And the feed is, we can ask them where we are up at the moment for this. And the team leads can actually go and answer them. The best part about this one, what I really liked about it is, yes, the cross reference we can do. We can assign even to the different groups as well. And the second thing is what I really liked is, which kind of few of the things were actually missing in Basecamp too. So is like you assign the task to some people in the template, and they're gonna get it assigned when we create a project using that template. So which is beauty. I mean, like, which is a super good thing in itself. And we can actually always go and go to the advanced search. We can go in or out of the project and that kind of things, or even filter our view. So these kind of things are actually really, really time saver, what I can say. I know I can actually move, I can add my clients directly into this too, so that they can go and check it out, the report from here. But because we are already using a different CRM and we do all the billing invoices, so it could be rather more easy at this stage, maybe probably once you guys plan to add any kind of invoicing modules kind of thing in the future, gonna be more easy than using everything inside SmartTask. But yes, at the moment, this is all it is.
Absolutely. Our goal is to have all of the information and all of the tools you need for basic work management, at least in one place. So that is where we are heading, and eventually we'll have those features. So here, Rohin, can you tell us a little bit about where you guys find the miscommunication happening in the organization? Let's say projects get delayed. What are those cases where you want to structure those workflows, strengthen those communications? Yeah.
Exactly right. So one of a bigger project, what I have seen, and that's one of reason I actually told my guys to actually jump on this live stream too, so that they can see. So the what I've seen is the reports get delayed. So because we are managing so many people, and sometimes the guys they say, oh, we forget to actually send a report to the client. Now this is where it is, and we can actually go and create this one as a separate milestone. We can tell them, all right, this is a part of your due date. How did you miss it? Second one, I already mentioned, like some of the tasks they say, all right, let's say speed test. Although we do have, like we say, as a part of our SOPs, we need to get the speed tests and all those things done. How did you miss it? You probably need to go and check it out. It's so much easy to communicate that way that you can actually automate all those parts. You know what I mean? So you can actually automate them. And like the major issue, I already told you, when the new people jump in, they don't know having a proper idea where the SOPs are, how they have to do it. This is all the information on the right hand side next to every. So all the files are over there. All the necessary plugins. We said, all right, we are going to actually attach the plugin files, license keys, everything for you, so that you guys can actually go and download the files from here and can start doing your work. And obviously, the biggest problem was that the people are sitting idle and they don't know what they have to do for the day. Although, because like I said, we are managing the few different CRMs, so maybe they are thinking that something gonna get signed from a different CRM, and then we moved. Some have got in Basecamp. Now we can actually put everything into single place, and we can actually manage them properly, even with the sales guys too. So it's very easy that way, I reckon.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to add in here is, typically what happens is, let's say a project manager or an account manager has like 15 projects going on under it. Now what happens is, typically some of the tasks gets delayed, somewhere there is a miscommunication. He told someone to do something that didn't happen, and the project deadlines overshoots, right? So typically what we suggest people do is, by end of the week, they have a look at the portfolio view. So let's say I am an account manager. I handle like 15 projects under me as of now in simultaneously. In that case, it's my responsibility to make sure the projects are tracked. The projects are on time. The tasks are on time. There is no delay in those tasks, right? I mean, even if there's a delay in a task, I need to change that in a timeline view. If I don't do that, the project deadlines will not change, right? So as an account manager, I need to do that. And so what I'll suggest people do is have a meeting with account managers by end of the week, look at the portfolio view, ask them, why is this project, not updated?
Yes.
Let's say, this task got delayed. We are pretty much sure about it, but that was not updated in the project somehow. So that is what the project managers and the account managers are supposed to do. They need to update the task timelines, which affects the project deadline too, in a way. And that needs to also be communicated to the client. The client is not aware of it. Maybe tomorrow I will call you up and say, where is my project currently? Where it is stuck,
Yes.
So we do not. At that time, I will again go into the project, see, okay, I need to change everything now. So I have heard this a lot of times, actually. A lot of clients have told me, this is what happens. So the client calls me up. I as account manager, he calls me up. He asks me, where is the project currently? Where we are heading? And I have no clue.
Yes.
I will tell him, okay, I will call you back in say 1 or 2 hours. I will go and talk with my team, understand how it is going, and again there will be some miscommunication, and that is how it often happens. So to avoid those kind of stuff, I highly recommend you utilize a portfolio view. Your account manager has a portfolio view. You have all of the projects in your portfolio, and if any changes are there, you discuss that every week. So everyone is on the topic. Everyone knows what is happening and how you need to move forward from there.
Exactly right. And yes, it's really very important. And probably it's one of the reasons why I added these kind of things too, so that in case if they have forget to actually change the timelines, that kind of thing, if they think that probably they've got a lot of backlog and they have to take a little more time to complete this task, at least if it's in progress, we know that this has been get started, rather than it probably going to cut up all the guesswork, I reckon.
Absolutely.
So pretty much that's what it is. And when it comes to the SOPs, we are trying to make it as detailed as possible. So there are two ways what we use. The one is obviously using all these Google Docs kind of thing and adding those shareable links into our files so that the people can actually see step by step what has been done and they can take the actions accordingly. And the second one is shooting out all those different videos for screencast kind of stuff and then adding them in our SOPs part. And that's I reckon that's kind of things with all those timelines and portfolio, like you said, and the different groups cross reference to each other. I think that's gonna remove a lot of pain out of the things when managing the big numbers.
Rohan, I have to ask, if you have one specific feature that you like that separates SmartTask from the other platforms that you used before, I'm pretty sure a lot of viewers would like to hear what you have to say, since it sounds like you've tested a lot of platforms, obviously Basecamp being another alternative. What is it that separates SmartTask from the rest of the pack for you personally?
All right, so I reckon that the timeline view is, and especially the Gantt charts, is one of a thing which is kind of a missing. A lot of people I know, they use Trello. Trello doesn't have these kind of things, especially. And this is where it separates us. Even the Basecamp, I can't really see that in Basecamp. Maybe I'm not really good in digging out all that tiny bit information. But from the overview, using it for such a long time, I haven't seen these kind of timeline kind of a view. Portfolio is another thing. There is no portfolio, especially just imagine for a thing like Bruce, we have got like so many projects going on. I cannot really go and track it out every single project on the fly. Then this is where portfolio gonna be helpful, where we can get all those tasks added, quick claim, quick eyeballs, and we can scan all the projects together and can actually talk the team that what is the status going on. So this is definitely gonna separate the things out of the crowd.
Perfect. I appreciate that. Rohan, thank you very much for joining us today. I love that breakdown, and I'm pretty sure all the viewers got a chance to listen and hear what your opinions were about what you love about SmartTask compared to everyone else. So appreciate that and your time as well.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
For them. Thanks. Bye-bye. See you guys.
Have a good one. Thanks. Bye. All right. That was topic number one. Let's cover number two real quick, real briefly.
Yeah. So I wanted to cover a little bit about what we are doing behind the curtains, like what we're developing. I wanted to give you a glimpse into the Slack integrations we are doing, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get it to work. That happens in development teams. Yeah, but
that's okay.
But I want to share something here, so I will just share my screen. Hold on.
Sure.
Yeah. I hope you're able to see this.
Yep.
Yeah. So we already are, in the last stages with the Slack integrations. The only issue we are currently facing is the deployment on the server. And that is what we are currently working on. But the Slack integration is totally ready. Typically, what you'll be doing is you will be, creating a command on Slack. So as many of you will be utilizing Slack, you already know what those commands are. So in case of SmartTask, you'll be doing something like /SmartTask add. That will create a new task from within Slack environment. Let's say you're working on, you're conversing with a colleague and you want to create a task from there itself. Just, type in this command and it will create a task from Slack for your SmartTask project. Then you have a way to link up your project or your channel in Slack with SmartTask project. So let's say if you type in SmartTask link, that will link up your current channel with the SmartTask project. So whatever updates happen in the project, like say you created a new task, you completed a task, all of those updates will be notified by the Slack bot, by the SmartTask bot in the Slack channel. So typically, what we're doing, we're trying to do here is to make Slack communication actionable in a way. That's what the goal is. So with SmartTask, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to utilize such kind of commands and convert your conversations into actionable items for your team to work on. You also have a way, let's say you are conversing with someone, you found, okay, this needs to be a task somewhere. In that case, the conversation, there is like a more icon at the end of the conversation, to click on it. And from there itself, you'll be able to add your comment to a particular task in SmartTask. So this is already something which are in works. We hope to release it soon. So I want to discuss about that. Actually, I wanted to show you a demo, in fact, but unfortunately, I'm not able to. With regards to, a lot of people have, raise the server issues, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the server issue. So, guys, we are working on that. So typically, what we are doing currently is, so let me explain what the problem we are facing currently. It's not a lot about the load we are facing. It's about the data that is going in and out at the same moment, at the same time, and then there are people who are utilizing the extensive, creating projects at the same time. They are doing a lot of stuff, and what is happening is the server is not able to generate the replies as fast as it should. And what we typically saw last time, so yesterday it went off for like 5 to 10 minutes. What we saw there was, let's say, people, there are lot of people locking in into at the same time, and then there are people generating reports at the same time. So what happens is the server creates some kind of a load on the authentication server. So we have a lot of servers going on in the background. So it's not just one server. We have like 8 servers which support SmartTask. So when you have a server dragging off some other servers, so let's say we have 2 servers in place in one single service plan, and then we have other service plans too. So when you have a single service plan servicing 2 servers, if one server is taking some time, that affects the other server, right? So when you're processing a lot of data, that affects the authentication server. Now if people cannot log in and it takes some more time, the authentication server again gets some generate some load on the main reply server. And that, depending on the too much load and a lot of things happening in the background, it causes the server to go down for a bit. Of course, now we have a lot of load balancing in place, so we do not have only one service plan to support you guys. There are a lot of service plans in the background through which you can balance our load. So if you look earlier, what happened is the server went down, it took like 20-30 minutes to come up, right? Now it takes just like 1-2 minutes for it to come back up. So these are some of the changes we are making, and in the background we are creating isolations in the server so that it doesn't affect the other server in a way, so the server doesn't go down. So everything is in works. We have a firm deadline to solve all of those issues by end of this week. So hopefully we'll be able to do so, and you will not be facing any of such issues in the future. So so the feature we are developing is a Slack. We are currently focusing on. Hopefully it will be released in 2 days. Server issues we are working on. Hopefully it will be solved by end of the week. And after that, we have a lot of requests for Twilio integrations. In fact, we have got a lot of chat requests to get that Twilio integration done. They want to call up their clients directly from SmartTask. They want that recording inside SmartTask, and that is something we'll be working on next time. So yes, guys, so this is how it is going forward, and pretty much exciting. You keep your feature requests coming in. You like to understand how we want to take SmartTask forward and help you guys.
That's great. So 2 things I want to mention. One that's awesome, obviously regarding calls from Twilio. Number 2, and this is to everyone out there, I appreciate the transparency and you talking about scaling, right? This is just normal that happens to SaaS companies as they start to scale. This is a great problem to have, which obviously is being in the process of being remedied. But I appreciate the fact that A, you told us about it, that a lot of companies don't do, and then B, this is a good growing pain to have that's like, oh darn, I have too many customers. In a way, that's a good thing that they're actually using your platform. So, that's also going to be thanks to AppSumo. Thank you for coming and, mentioning to everyone in the group. By the way, if you guys haven't joined the group, it's facebook.com/SmartTaskCommunity. Please join us in there. You'd get constant updates from myself and from Shaimal. So thank you very much for explaining that. Not a lot of companies do that, right? They only want to talk about the good, but there is no transparency. And so I have to say I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I will also like to add here something. So what happens typically is we go down at a particular moment in the day. So that is when there is an overlap between the US customers, the UK customers, and the Indian customers. We have a lot of Indian customers already who are in fact on the monthly subscription plan. So since they already have a lot of reports and everything in place in SmartTask, when that overlaps with the US customers, the US customers are currently creating new projects, right? So when they're creating new projects, the current customers are, generating reports. When everything overlaps, you know what happens.
Yeah, true. So let me go back to Slack real quick. A lot of us use Microsoft Teams, and so the one question is going to be, if there is a Slack integration, is there going to be a Teams integration? So that's number 1. Number 2, and I'll put this out there is a back-end way that a lot of companies can do Slack integrations, and that is an email to channel option that Teams has. Now, a lot of companies only allow, inside the backend of their SaaS, to send email notifications to registered users. A way to bypass that is if there's a way to send email notifications to like a third-party email address that's not necessarily assigned to a user. Is that something that you might consider? That way we can send consistent updates to SmartTask without people having, to Microsoft Teams without people having to wait for an official SmartTask to Microsoft Teams integration.
So like you having a particular email ID for Teams?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Makes sense. So for example, in SmartTask, what you can do is you can invite a guest user. Now the guest user typically gets every update in every task he is a member of. So let's say you have a project, you have like 10, 15 tasks in that project, add that guest users into those tasks, and whatever updates happen, that goes as an email in the Teams channel. Makes sense. You can do that.
And the guest user doesn't have to be a registered user of that project?
Yes, guest users are free.
Right, but they don't have to actually, there's no registration process needed in order for that guest user. So they don't have to register, but they can still receive notifications, essentially.
Yeah, you just need to add those guest users' email ID. So you add that email ID to the project workspace, and that's it.
Great. So technically, since there is no user attached to a Microsoft Teams email address, you could send everything technically there.
Absolutely. Makes sense. Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'm going to show that next week to people. I'm just going to put that up there. I'm going to show that next week to people that you can hook up an email address, and then I'll show you guys like a general channel I have full of nothing but SmartTask updates. That's going to be hot. That's going to be hot. Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
All right,
exciting.
Cool. I like that. Yeah, cool. We got another integration. Anyways, cool. You know what? Let's go ahead and call it. Actually, I do have one caller who wanted to come on. Mm-hmm. Jack Pohl. I saw that you came on too. I want to give a quick shout out. Thank you to Ashok in the green room for waiting. Priyanash, Jay, Kataria, Ken. Thank you guys for waiting on us. Jack, did you want to join us? Let us know. I know you're listening in. I don't think we're getting any response from Jack. Okay, cool. So on that note, we'll go ahead and call it. There we go. Thank you for joining us, Sarae. You too. Sarae, you're going to come on with us next week. Just putting it out there. You're coming on with us next week. So you better get ready. I'm just saying that. You better get ready. Sarai's awesome. And a lot of you guys know her. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today. And for the 20 of you that were watching us all simultaneously at one time, appreciate the time and effort today. Same time next week, Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific. And Shaimal, anything else before we let everybody go?
Oh, that's it from my side.
Perfect. So guys, don't forget to join us in the groups and in facebook.com/SmartTask Community. And we'll check you guys all next week. Everyone be safe. Have a good one. Bye, guys.